Hey guys, this is discussion on the color of law. So after going through like the 13th, 14th, and 15th amendments, and then watching the video, The Color of Law, something that surprised me as I read through it, or like history that was known to me. Honestly, like a lot of this stuff was kind of new to me. I mean, there are so many conversations on the topic, but like some of the specifics that he was going into was new to me just because like I feel like I've grown in a community that just doesn't talk about race as much as it should, and a lot of this stuff is very sheltered and like just not as talked about as it should be. And then, what do you know about your community and local zoning policies? So, in the 20th century, I didn't know anything about my community, I'll be honest. Like, I really hadn't thought about it before, so I had to actually look it up. And when I was looking through it, I found that my community was really segregated because, like, a lot of Dutch people came to, like, Holland, Zealand, whatever, and they came here for religion, and they were, like, very kept to themselves, and, like, they just didn't mesh well with other people. And then adding on like the race, like they definitely had problems with selling homes and with the segregated communities. They definitely had groups of people who wouldn't sell to people of color or anyone who are a different race other than Caucasian or like anything like that, and it was a major problem. And it still is. So that was weird. The other question, what would it look like if your community were required to have its fair share of middle class, minority, low, and moderate income housing? So right now, like Holland and Zealand and like West Olive or where I live, like kind of is very different. There's definitely its own clusters. It's hard to find a mix of all these communities like being together and like requiring it. So I guess because you can't really put like, hey, everyone's gonna have like the same looking house, the same like everything, like that kind of thing, because that set off major like problems already. But I feel like, I don't know, there's really no good way to just tell people to become like more open to the different races, and I don't know, it's really hard. So we typically accept the understand the two sides of the story. Is there any missing side to The Color of Law that might modify its argument? So I'd like to see like more first person perspective, I guess. I mean, all the information is coming from a white dude, so that kind of sets it off. But there's definitely parts missing, but it's not like he's got bad information, because it seems like he's advocating for all different sides. I mean, you know, as much as he can. And then in my community schools, are we racially segregated? And then has this resulted in fewer interracial friendships? This is definitely a problem for my school. I think maybe 3 or 4 of my friends were of different races, and I mean that's still like a decent amount, but they were like the only people that were different races in our school, and I was friends with them. It was crazy. I don't know, but I feel like with those friends I got to have a lot of different experiences, but I definitely still missed out on a lot of friendships that I could have had if there were more different races and mixes within my school, because I was just so sheltered, and like I missed out on so many opportunities on getting to know like all of these different cultures and backgrounds and like what they grew up on. And then what is one thing I'd like to better understand about my home or community and how I came to live there. So I don't know. I don't really know that there's any like questions about as like how I came to live here, because my farther family back, they all wanted something based on religion and they separated based on that. And I haven't heard a ton of racial like segregation within my family history, so I'd like to know if there was maybe any like reason for them living where they did. All of my family lived in, I don't know, like rural communities. And then one thing I'd like to understand. Okay, yeah. Were you surprised that Chief Justice John Roberts got the facts wrong? And then who else have you seen get their facts wrong? Okay, so I wasn't, I mean, you can't be surprised that someone got their facts wrong. There's a lot of statistics nowadays and lots of people nowadays that get their facts wrong, and there's all kinds of things on the internet and all kinds of things trying to be spread that aren't true. So you really can't be surprised when someone totally is oblivious to the real facts. And then the last one, unanswered questions that I have after reviewing the document, or the documentary. Let's see. I guess, I don't really know if I have a ton. I probably do, but I can't think of any as I'm going through this right now, and like when I was thinking of it earlier. But that's all.